First.
Breaking news here. We've been covering this every day since the trial began. USA v. MRT. The verdicts are in. The jury has found LA City Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas guilty on a number of counts.
Keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580 for news and analysis about the things that matter most to you. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Murdering. Lyrically,
First things first, I pop on freaks, all the honeys, dummies, playboy bunnies, those wanting money. Those the ones I like, cause they don't get Nathan but penetration. Unless it smells like sanitation. Garbage, I turn like doorknobs. Heart throb never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stay Gucci down to the socks. Rings and watch filled with rocks. And my jam knocking the Mitsubishi. Girls pee-pee when they see me. Navajo creep me in they teepee. As I lay down laws like Island Coppet. Stop it if you think you're gonna make a profit. Don't see my ones, don't see my guns. Get it? Now tell your friends Papa hit it, then split it in two. As I flow with the Junior Mafia. I don't know what the hell's stopping ya. I'm clocking ya. Versace shade watching ya. Once you grin, I'm in. Game begins.
Watch this run right here.
Talk about how I dress is this and diamond necklaces. Stretch Lexus is the sex is just immaculate. From the back I get deeper and deeper. Help you reach the climax that your man can't make. Call him, tell him you be home real late and sing the break.
That is the... Where was Biggie on that list?
That good love, girl, you didn't know.
6? I don't remember where Biggie was on that list. I think it was 6 or 7, right? Because Pac was 6. No, Pac was 6. I think Biggie was 7 or 8. Somewhere in there.
Oh, they go even further down.
Top 50 hip-hop artists of all time.
My number one is Jay-Z. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
That was theirs, too. You can make the case.
Sorry. He's my favorite.
What if I told you that it was LL Cool J?
I like LL.
Could you get down with him being the greatest of all time?
No.
Give me an alternative to Jay-Z if it's not Jay-Z, then.
For me, I mean, people get mad at me for saying this, but like, man, that's really hard. Cause I love Jay, I love Kanye, old Kanye, Eminem. I loved Eminem growing up. Like that was, but I love Nas too. I don't know.
So if Nas was at number 1, would you have been okay with that?
I would be okay with that.
I think a lot of people would have been.
I would have
okay
been
with
okay
that.
with that.
But they would have said, does he have as strong a
I
quality
love
catalog?
I was literally about to say like Jay's catalog though. Like no one's touching that catalog for me. I'm sorry for me, but don't get me wrong. I will throw on some like old Kanye, even like Drake. Like Drake has bangers too, and people sleep on him. I know I don't like him now. Something about him now irritates me.
Yeah.
But like Drake's old stuff, like yeah, like you could play him on a drive.
Fantastic.
Biggie's number 6.
Okay. Where's Pac in there?
4.
Okay.
What do you say to those people that said Pac got 4 albums though? That's it.
I mean, I'm a poet. I grew up reading his poetry, like his book. Like for me, he was a poet, so his stuff just is timeless.
Right.
And if he would have lived longer, like come on, his life was cut short. He was 25.
25 years.
Like that's really, really young when you really think about it. He was murdered on my birthday too. I was like, come on, dog, on my birthday.
Of all the
I had
days
a crush on you.
Of all the days that
I was too young, but I had a crush on him.
Yeah, you were probably 5. How old were you back?
Listen. What was I, like 6 or 7?
You're just gonna make a brother feel old tonight, ain't you? Go ahead.
The case for Nas, when you think about his little trilogy with King's Disease,
Yeah.
he's definitely redeemed himself.
We
For
said
sure.
that on the show. I think he's the first hip hop artist of all time to be really popular in his heyday, the peak of his powers in the 90s,
Yeah.
come back 20 years later and be just as
Yeah,
strong
like,
and put out
whoa.
just as quality product.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever done that?
I don't think so because, like, even for me, like when M drops new music, I don't really listen to it that
Yeah,
much.
it's like-
Like, I'm like, oh, M dropped a new album. It's not like when he was dropping Eminem show. I was like on my bed with my Walkman, like
Right.
bumping, like I knew what I was talking about.
So you a hip hop head, huh?
I am. I love music.
Let's get it going. You've heard many of the Pulse one-on-one interviews on my show with people that I feel have their fingers on the pulse of Black America. Tonight, you get another boost of Black brilliance and excellence. Interviews with people that I feel you need to know. She's a highly dynamic, creative writer and visual artist. She has self-published Rebel, a book of poetry that highlights the trials and triumphs of a young Black woman. As a writer, she focuses on poetry, like she just said, op-eds, and curriculum writing. Although her passion is screenwriting, she is a graduate of Morgan State University and former co-host of WEAA's Ladies of Listen Up show. She's a former 3rd to 5th grade teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools, currently teaching at schools all around Los Angeles. She's the founder of her I Call Her Queen LLC, the for-profit venture that allows Nira to host paint parties, teach art classes, freelance curriculum write, and sell her art and poetry. Underneath ICHQ, Nira started Queens in Training High Society. I love all this, by the way. A sorority for 4th and 5th grade girls. She's a mother, lover. You got that in your bio?
We keep going.
And collector of, she putting your business out there. An Advent volunteer at the Book Bank, community activist and organizer, and contributor of The Culture with Faraji. What's up, Faraji King? Airing on Roland Martin's Black Star Network. Currently, Nira is working to highlight women by telling impactful stories as an MA student at Mount St. Mary's School of Film for Directing. Tonight, she descends into the Danny Morrison Show to share the microphones with me and for some intelligent and stimulating conversation regarding topics related to relationships. Inside my Pulse one-on-one, ladies and gentlemen, Nira Muhammad.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So what's up with you, Queen? You good tonight?
I'm so good tonight. I went to the beach. I'm feeling good.
I saw your Instagram. You had the babies out there.
Yeah,
You just chilling.
I was working on a paper, just like catching some waves.
Oh, wasn't it too cold out there today?
It was chilly, but the kids don't care.
Kids
Let's be
do
real.
not
They don't
care one bit, man. I was checking out your podcast. I told you. Your energy on your podcast is far different than your energy on your Instagram. You kind of smooth, laid back, between the sheets, quiet storm on your podcast, and then I see your Instagram. You like me. You morph into me. Why is that?
I am a very colorful human being.
I can tell.
Let's just say that I'm very colorful.
Yeah.
But I have like 3 Instagrams too. So
do you?
I do. I have like the mommy one, the Booking with Mommy and Nigel, where we read books for children and stuff. And then my students can follow me on that one.
Okay.
Then I have my Queen Talks with Nira, where it's just like all podcasts, all art. And then there's Nira Muhammad.
The Nira Muhammad. For those who don't know, it's Nira Muhammad, NERRA_ Muhammad. And listen. Make sure the babies ain't around when you play that thing, because I'm trying to tell you, it make a Black man blush. I was watching that thing go.
I just think that women should be unapologetically themselves.
Go on, preach. Go ahead. Expound on that. Go ahead.
I don't know. Like, I remember being like this girl who I grew up in the 90s. My mom used to get catalogs from Victoria's Secrets, and I would catch the mail before she came home. And I would just sit and just go through these magazines, just like, I want to grow up and be a Victoria's Secrets model. And
Wow.
I remember, like, I grew up really, really heavy in religion, like super ridiculous. Like, I couldn't even read Harry Potter.
Wow.
And I asked my grandmother, I said, Grandma, is there anything wrong with being a Victoria's Secret model? And she was like, no, it's just like going to the beach. And I was literally like 10 when I asked her that. She was like, it's like,
That's
mind
partially
you,
true.
It's partially, mind you, but she's like a really strict Jehovah's Witness, so I was not expecting that answer from her. So
Right.
the fact that my grandmother was like, no, you could be a Victoria's Secret's model, I like,
Ding, 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 ding. Guess what I'm going to be?
oh yeah, like prior to like marriage and kids, like I was like modeling heavy, like doing fashion shows and stuff like that. And then I got married and had babies, and it just was like, oh, I'm fat. And then I was like, you know what? No, you're not fat. Like, you're beautiful. And I had to like embrace that. And it took me a while because like I went through all these ups and downs, like my weight, and then it just got to a point where I was like, no. Like, this is who I am. This has always been a part of me. And I've, like, buried it for, like, my husband. I buried it for the mosque. I buried it for everyone but myself.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. So he didn't like it at first in our marriage. He's like, why are you dressing like this? Why are you doing that? And I was like, listen, this is who I was before I met you. And I tried my best to be this, like, image of this woman that you wanted me to be. And I'm really miserable in that space. And so I'm just not doing it anymore. So you can take it or leave it.
But he's making a great point, too. Doesn't that clash with your religious beliefs, from what I know about the Muslim faith?
So, honestly, I am not a religious person.
Okay.
And that's another thing. And I don't think we ever really clashed with that. I was able to tell him, like, I'm not a very religious person. I don't want to pretend that I am. So when people would say, like, I remember being on his show, and Muslims would call in and be like, you have the last name Muhammad, and you're talking like that. I said, I'm actually not a Muslim, though. I'm more of an omnist. I believe in all religions. I think that there's good and bad in all religions. But personally, I don't want to be beholden to something that I can't see. I'm a very scientific person.
Andy,
so.
Andy, do you hear what she's saying on my show?
I'm sorry.
On my show? Go ahead, Andy.
That's a progressive way of thinking in a lot of ways.
What are you gonna side with her? You gonna do that to me right now?
I respect it, but I have a question.
So if you can't see it and you can't feel it, you don't believe it.
I respect all religions. I'm just not. I don't know. I think of things from like a historical perspective too, and I think about my ancestors, and I have different reasons.
Your ancestors were very religious, by the way.
I do believe that, but I mean, like, if you take it back before we were slaves, we weren't Christian, so.
When we come from, no, I'm playing. Andy, what were you saying?
Nira, did I hear you say that you're proud of being unapologetically black?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Are you familiar with the Angel Reese saga, Caitlin Clark situation?
I am, of course, and I'm from Baltimore, so you know I'm familiar with it.
So how do you feel about Angel Reese talking about how she's unapologetically black?
I think that you have to be careful when you use that language, because what does it mean to be unapologetically black?
Preach.
That doesn't mean that you are ignorant.
They try to say unapologetically hood is what they're trying to say.
And I think that there's a difference. There's a difference between being unapologetically hood or unapologetically black. You can be immature. She's 19 years old.
Facts.
Don't take your immature way of thinking and just put a stamp on it of I'm being unapologetically black. I don't think that is, I think that's actually really harmful. And I think it waters down what it means to be unapologetically black.
Facts.
You deciding that you don't want to go to the White House and you want to call up the Obamas, and it's messy. And let's be real, Obama would never go for something like that.
Nope.
You're disrespecting his vice president.
Notice he hasn't commented.
He hasn't. You're disrespecting his vice president. And it makes you look kind of crazy, especially when your team decides like, oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and go. I think that everything was blown out of proportion. I'm not saying that black women especially are not demonized in media, especially in sports.
Very
We're not,
much so.
but I think you have to choose your battles. I think that you can take this as a learning lesson without becoming the villain. Like, don't become the villain in your own story, because you weren't the villain from the beginning, but now you're kind of turning into one.
What do you say to those kids? I'm calling them kids, but, they're Generation Z that say there's a generational disconnect right now with you not understanding their version of what's being black is different than yours.
I totally agree with that, but I don't think that you being loud without the facts makes you unapologetically black. I think that there's a level of maturity that is missing there, which is understandable because she's 19 and a sophomore in college, and she's also from my city of Baltimore, and I'm an educator in Baltimore City Schools, was for years, so I know how they are unapologetically disrespectful at times.
Yeah.
I can be very honest with you. Like, I thought I was never going to get back into education because last year I taught 3rd grade in Baltimore, and I wanted to cry every day.
I know some educators that are thinking about getting out.
Yeah, it was hard. Like, I teach now, and I teach at a Title I school here in LA, and I have to say it's a completely different feel. I'm so respected by my students. I teach majority Latino and black children, but the way they respect me is totally different from Baltimore. I mean, they would be just disrespectful for no reason, and it's other things.
Yeah.
There's other things that are going on, but I don't get down with the whole just because you got stuff going on that gives you the right to disrespect me.
Oh, you got that right.
So, and I was always that teacher that was like, hold up, let me tell you, I'm from the streets of Baltimore too. So let's get that straight. Let's start there.
Come on.
And then we can back this up. We can have a conversation. So, I mean, that's how I would treat her, honestly.
Let me ask you this question, and we'll finish this on the other side. How do you handle when you hear Latinos dropping the N-word at school? I'm sure you hear it all the time.
I don't, actually.
You don't hear the what?
No, not at the school. I mean, I teach at a Catholic school. I haven't heard any kids say it. Not around me, at least.
Okay, because I'm telling you, they say it as much as we do these days.
Gosh,
How would you
I
react?
personally don't like the word in general.
I don't either.
So I would not like to hear them say that. And I was just teaching these Latino kids about Nelson Mandela the other day. So I would just have a conversation with them. Anytime I hear young people saying something inappropriate, as an educator, you kind of learn how to talk to them. Like, I'll put my foot up their behinds in a loving way, and they'll be like, okay, I respect it because I know it's coming from a good place. Right. But I'm gonna pull them up about it.
The conundrum about that word is
we're not using it.
If you heard a black kid say it to another black kid, you wouldn't say anything. If you heard a black kid say it to a Latino kid, you wouldn't say anything.
I say it.
But if you heard a Latino kid say it to a black kid, especially with some vigor and some, aggression, you would be upset and he might be suspended.
Personally, if I hear any of my students say it, even my black boys, I used to get on them all the time. In fact, when I first started teaching, we made crowns in the first week of school, and they painted self-portraits of themselves as kings and queens in my classroom.
I love that
I
so
made them
much.
do that, and I hung them up, and they got to take them at the end of the year.
Oh.
Every year. We're not doing that. I called them, I was the queen, and they were my lords and ladies, and they loved it.
Wow.
They loved this. There's so much you could do to change the trajectory of these children's lives. There's so many things you could do to, like, make them change the way they see themselves. I mean, I had a boy lie to me one day, get on the phone, lie to his mother, and I pulled him up about it. And he broke down and cried and apologized to me before he apologized to his own mother. Because I looked at him, I said, you can't lie to me. You can lie to your mom, but you can't lie to me. And I walked away, and it ate him up. Miss Muhammad walked away from me.
Oh, my God, I love her.
Came crying. Can I call my mom? I'm going to tell the truth. Because I don't play that. I love you too much to allow you to be your own worst enemy.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we'll take a phone call and we'll get the show started. Well, we're going to have a great time tonight, as you guys could tell. Nira Muhammad, the queen, inside my Pulse one-on-one interview. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles.
From middays to nighttime.
Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new plan. Nothing is everyday.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Inside my Pulse one-on-one with Nira Muhammad. About to break into the conversation here, but let's take a phone call before we do just that. Q, get up in here. Give me your height, your color, and your hood. Q.
Brother 5'10", violet black, West LA.
West LA, check it in. Drop it. Come on. Yeah. What's on your mind tonight, huh?
Brother, I'm not a political correct person because political correct compromises the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm not that kind of a person. But having said that, before I start, I think that Sister Angel Reese, I think she's right in her position.
Ooh. I'm surprised that you're saying that, Q. You?
Yeah, she's right because Why would look every winner of a championship team are invited to the White House by themselves? Since and they won. But since the expected team, according to Joe Biden, since the expected team did not make it, why do you invite both of them? Why are you going to take their glory away from them to share with the to the other team? So if she says she's unapologetically black, I'm with her all the way. Having said that, in reference to your previous or the earlier conversation, I think black women want love, but black women don't want to be loved.
They don't want to be loved, you're saying?
No, they don't want to be loved.
Well,
because how can you? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go. I want you to expound on that. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. How can you truly love somebody who have compromised all their heritage? They compromise. Most black women, their version of love is according to a book that was written by other people, like Ann Landers and others. And most of the time, the book was written by white women. And they are defining what love should be. And you hear black women say, I want him to love me this is the way I want to be loved. Why can't the brother love you the way the brother knows how to love? If there's some rough edges here, that can be smoothened out.
To be fair, I think she's too young to know who Ann Landers is. She had a relationship column in pretty much every newspaper in this entire country. That's before her time.
I'm over Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm saying? She's Sex in the City, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Q. Go ahead. I'm saying I just want to make sure she knows what we're talking about.
I mean, but I grew up, reading Terry McMillan and things like that, so you can't really throw me under that bus. I'm not in that same category. My mother was all about that. My mother was all about the black women. Heavy.
Nice.
Heavy. Maintenance man. I was sneaking and reading her books. You know what I mean?
Nice.
That type of stuff at 13, reading Maintenance Man.
So what do you think of him saying that black women don't want to be loved?
I think that black women are the most loving and most receptive of love than any other woman. We are the most unloved and most disrespected. Yeah. I can give you that.
Let me finish my.
Make it make sense. I'm trying to understand here.
Me
Go
too.
ahead.
I am too. I want to hear your mouth.
Yes. All our definitions, according to love, is defined by other people, not according to the black, according to the black woman or according to the black man. Look, when this feminist movement started, it was started by these white women, and what did they? Black women were not consulted, but they find it imperative to bring black women into it. White men could not even tolerate the path that the white women were going.
Yeah.
So you saw the suffrage movement, okay?
I see where he's going.
Yeah.
Okay, but that affected black women as well. It still affects us.
White men start leaving the white women alone and going out of the country to form a relationship with other women in other countries. You see, black women got attached into this feminist movement. And now look at our divorce rate. It's higher than that of the white women.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I gotta let her respond, and we gotta move forward here. What do you say to those black men? There's a lot of older African Americans for sure that say things were better in the quote unquote good old days.
If you mean like my grandmother dealing with my grandfather gambling at the horse casino, beating on her and cheating and doing cocaine, I guess it was better. But personally, I think that the reason why women we don't have to put up with the same things that women put up with back then. And we are fighting our feminist movement to make the same amount of money for the same jobs. A lot of times, women have always been the backbones of society. Even if you look at the history of the telephone company, it was women that were the cable girls that were back there connecting those phone calls. And we were getting paid less than anybody else and disrespected. So, no, I'm a historian. Don't come at me with that.
No,
That's
that
not
is
true.
That is
and
not,
women, and you know what? Black
that-
women do want love, but we're also not going to keep putting up with the same disrespect and men that are lazy and that want to eat off of us or live off us or drive our car or be cheating with the girl next door or not taking care of the 3 kids he got with the 3 baby mamas that came before us. Let's talk about that.
So why are black women
This is
least likely to date outside their race then?
And you know, I think that's actually changing. I have so many friends now that are dating white men. It's a big influx of it on, I was just talking about this actually on social media. I was like, is it trending now? Because I'm seeing so many black women with white men. And I actually have a girlfriend. She's actually about to marry her white boyfriend that she met on Coffee Meets Bagel. Shout out to them.
Coffee Meets Bagel?
But I'm seeing a lot of black women that are stepping out to other races now. This was not something that I was seeing like 5 years ago.
I'm surprised you sign off on that. Sounds like you're
I'm not saying that I sign off on it. Personally, I want a black man.
Okay.
That just works for me. I tried to date a white guy one time, and it didn't work for me at all. Like, I was like, no, never again. Never again for me personally. But I am not.
I guess never again, man. She made sure.
I'm sorry, it was so bad. I am not against people finding love. At the end of the day, if you have tried your best to love that black man and John comes along and he's loving you in a way that Tyrone never did, girl, you better get your love.
John and Tyrone. Nara, we're gonna go and have some bagels tonight. You want to go out? I'll pick you up around 7:30. Let's go have some bagels.
Personally, I'm a little too hood for that. I do love bagels, but
bagels are fire. You tripping?
But I love black men, and I haven't given up on black men.
Please don't. Q, final word. I got 2 minutes here.
Well, you see, she keep interrupting, so I couldn't even complete my entire statement.
I'm so sorry.
We only got so much time, Q. Come on now.
I'm sorry.
Come on now. We got a show to get to, man. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah.
You see, now you're at minute 45. You better hurry up here.
Well, this is a thing. This is a problem that exists between black men.
Minute
and black
40.
women. When instead of black women confining in the black man, if there is an issue in their relationship, she rather go and confine it with their friend instead of the person whom she has partnership with. All these are part of the reasons that we have deviated from who we actually are. We adopted other people's ways as dictated by the white society. And as long as sex, please let me finish. As long as sex is continuous, this harmony that this behavior has created will remain there. Let the brothers love you the way the brothers knows how to love. But don't go and read a book as defined by others that this is how, if somebody loves you, this is what he or she supposed to be doing.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm for black. I will never date out of my race. I love black women to eternity. I've never seen any white woman that attracts me. You know?
Gotcha.
Black women are the best.
Give Q call of the night. I got you. I gotta go. Come on now. I gotta go. Q love him some black women. I think we've got that on record tonight.
I agree.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm just saying, if it gets cold enough, is all I'm saying. Q, I appreciate you, King. Have a good one, okay?
Thank you, brother. Peace and blessings.
Same to you. Whew.
Can we just start with part of the problem is blaming each other? Can we just start there?
Let's start that on the other side. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. The electric Nero Muhammad inside my Post 1-on-1 Danny Morrison show right now. News and traffic. Say that.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A vote to expel Tennessee lawmaker Gloria Johnson over protesting for stricter gun laws has failed. It failed to get the support from 2/3 of Tennessee's Republican-controlled House of Representatives. Fellow Democratic Representative Justin Jones was removed Thursday for demonstrating on the floor following last month's school shooting in Nashville.
I can't feel too good, because my colleague, Justin Jones, who is an amazing human being, who cares so deeply about his community. So I hope every one of you will do everything you can to help make sure he comes back here.
Well, Democrats are calling for an independent investigation into Black Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. A new report claims Thomas did not disclose luxury trips he accepted from a Republican donor. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
If April is showering your company with open job positions, check out Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job today and get hiring by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Access granted.
In a survey conducted by the public opinion research firm Eviderus, KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerged as the station of choice for black audiences in the Los Angeles media market and beyond. The survey also revealed that the vast majority of black audiences are concerned about the lack of black-owned media and are more likely to listen to talk radio that focuses on issues that impact the black community. For some reason, the other talk stations haven't quite figured that out.
If you think about KFI, well, KFI only has like a 3% black listenership. 3%. So there's a good 97% out there to support a station like KBLA.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Nerds! Here at NerdWallet, we often see people wrestle with financial decisions.
Mike is in the ring, up against his nemesis, indecision. Mike can't decide the best way to save his money, and indecision has him boxed in. But wait, Mike tagged in NerdWallet!
Whew, let's go. With NerdWallet side-by-side comparisons, you can find a high-yield savings account with interest rates that earn more bang for your buck. So the next time you wrestle with a financial decision, you'll come out on top. NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito is back at Taco Bell. And in case you didn't know, it's stacked
Yeah, packed inside it is a double serving of premium grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer. Then on top of that, it has a layer of grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. Yeah, the outside. Why? Probably because it refuses to be caged in by the confines of its tortilla walls. Or maybe just to add more cheesy flavor.
Double steak grilled cheese burrito. Get one today, only at Taco Bell. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Double the steak claim as compared to steak quesadilla. Contact store for hours and participation with
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
This before your time. You know about Naughty by Nature?
Of course I do. My mom played everything.
I wanna see y'all who wanna plan with me. Wave your hands across the land and we family. Say hot damn, we on a jamboree. It's for my peeps here. I stand for you cause you stand for me. Come on, I know I jam. Well, oh damn, I know I jam. Oh, Bori, I know I jam. Well, oh damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Yes, indeed. Jam on it. Made limbs and Timbs, broke brims, smoke stems, who dogs with bent rims. For the real and the raw, know who duck from the law. I never kill for the thrill, but I cut for the call. Smoking with a hooter, get better prices from looters. Shake my shell with the shooters, lead a Luger with Duja. Some say modeling and acting, maybe treacherous selling. While I'm yelling for some felon with my melon. Booyah! Hella heated, too ill for them to beat it. Most cheated, most needed. You best believe it. This ticker takes jam for me, stand for me. You damn to be without the jamboree. Come on, I know I jam. Well, oh damn, I know I jam. Oh, Bori, I know I jam. Well, oh damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Yes, indeed.
You are inside the Jamboree on the Thursday night edition of the Danny Morrison Show. KBLA Talk 1580 in here with Nira Mohammed in here jamming with your boy. Who's that? Janae singing on that? That's Janae, right? On the hook? And by the way, Tretch wasn't on that list.
That's messed up.
Our list is Tretch should have been on that list. Heavy D should have been on that list.
Oh, that's a classic.
Help me out. Who else? Who else was it? We had like a few. Mace wasn't on that list. Right?
Oh, man.
And there was a couple more, right? Who else? Will Smith wasn't on there.
I would have expected him to be on there. I'm sorry. I would have.
Guru wasn't on that list. I mean, come on.
Dang, Will wasn't on there, though?
Will wasn't on there.
I'm actually shocked.
Didn't you think Will should be between 40 and 50?
I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna put in top 25.
No,
but I mean,
no, but he did something for the culture.
Should you be on the list if you don't write your own rhymes? Dang. For the record, Drake don't write his own rhymes. For the record, Kanye West don't write his own rhymes a lot of the time.
Really? Because Drake, come on. No, don't do that to my man Drake. Because Drake is written for other people.
Drake got a ghostwriter. Am I crazy?
No.
Andy, am I crazy?
I'm not believing it.
True.
Nope. I don't want to believe it.
When it comes
I'm not ready.
When it comes to artists not writing their own material, a lot of the times, I think sometimes a writer will come up with a hook, per se. But Drake still wrote the verses.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I mean, he's written for Beyonce. He's written for Alicia Keys. I'm ready. That was Drake wrote that.
Look, Drake's amazing.
I believe he writes. I think he writes most of his music.
I'll take it a step further. You can make the case that he's the GOAT. Could you not?
Drake.
20 years. 20 years.
Because
had the #1 streaming album last year.
I mean, he's had the most streams too on Spotify. Like, no one has topped him. No one.
So why can't we make the case?
I think because he represents like such a bigger genre. For me, like just in terms of like rap, is Jay for me.
Okay.
Like bar for bar, pound for pound. Like I love Jay. Like even if you like ain't no like just. I've been saying this since you were playing with Bobby and Ken, and you can't seem to play a game.
Look at you!
Like, I just love Jay. Like I love his flow. Like I love everything about Jay. So I mean, I got Can I Live like tatted on me. So like I love Jay.
Wow, you loving her right now. You love it because that's you right there. I'm surprised you ain't got no Jay-Z tattoo on your buttocks right now, man. All right, let's get into it, okay? I always ask everybody that comes up in here, what's your 25th letter? What is your why?
What is my why?
Why do you? Because you got your hands in a lot of cookie jars, but why?
Because I want to be remembered. I feel like if no one remembers you, then you, like, when you dead, you're dead.
Legacy.
Yeah, like, I want people to be talking about me. I want my home to be turned into a museum.
Ooh, look at you.
Like, that's how important I want to be, you know?
Why is that important to you, though?
I don't like death. But I feel like I don't believe in, like, heaven or, like, hell.
When
but
we
I
come
feel
forward.
But I feel like, to me, like, Dr. King is never going to die. Like, and I also, like, because I love literature so much, I feel like we always study, like, all these old people from, like, back in the 1800s. I'm like, I want to be on that list.
Right.
Like, I want you to, like, it was for me to have, like, Rebel Rebel, like, read in, like, a high school, like, of all girls, like, them using my poetry to write their own. Like, that was, like, what? Because I fell in love with poetry at such a young age from, like, Meredith Brooks, like, the abortion, her poem about abortion. And, you know, of course, I don't know. I just felt like I'm tired of, like, all of us, like, always studying, like, these old people. Like, I want to be on that list 100, 200 years from now. Like, I want them to study me in school.
Love it. I didn't know it was Rebel Rebel.
Yes.
I thought it was Rebel. You saw me say it Rebel.
Yeah,
You didn't check me.
I didn't check you. But it's Rebel Rebel.
How am I supposed to know it's Rebel Rebel?
It's a noun and a verb. It's like you're telling you. It's like being told to rebel. Rebel Rebel.
You should put a line above that first.
I should. I don't know.
I'm with you. Top 5 dead or alive, okay? Your category tonight. Deal breakers. Give me the 5 deal breakers that you just gotta cut a cat.
Well, you can't even, like, if you have bad hygiene, like, that off the bat.
If
like,
he's stanky, ain't no way it's going
Yeah,
down.
and, like, bad teeth. I'm like a big kisser, so if, like, I don't like your mouth and your teeth, like, that's a deal breaker for me. Like, I need to be confident in kissing you.
Right.
Of course, not having a job. Like, you have to have drive. And I'm not gonna just say having a job, because having a job is not enough.
between jobs.
No. There's no such thing as in between. That's a deal breaker off the bat. But it's also a deal breaker for me if you're in a job that you really hate and you're not doing anything to change the circumstances.
Yes.
As you know, I'm a very, like, it's okay to complain, but we're not going to stay in that space.
Right.
Like, I'm a list planner. I'm a planner. What are we doing next? What are we going to do about this?
Okay.
So if you are one of those people who just like to stay in your feelings,
Yeah.
that's a deal breaker for me.
All right, so we got hygiene. We got the don't have a job. What else?
Of course, you got to have a car.
Okay.
I mean, I just think that's, like, basic stuff, though. You cannot be abusive in any way.
Well, come on.
Like, in no way. I mean even, like, verbally abusive. You can't be, like, super jealous or clingy. Like, those are deal breakers. I need you to, like, trust me. Like, when I say that I'm, like, working or I'm tired, I don't want you to be like, oh, you really went to sleep at 8:30? Yes, I went to sleep at 8:30.
Because I'm tired.
With your insecure tail. Like, don't be blowing me up, wondering why I'm asleep at 8:30. Like, and you, believe it or not, men are like this.
I'm sure they are.
Like, you're like, dude, like, you are so insecure that it's just, like, such a turn off.
So a man can't be deeply in love with you that he just always wants to be in your aura?
There's a thing about being deeply in love, but you have to have your own life. There has to be balance. Like, you cannot want to be in my space all the time. I need my girl time. I need my alone time. I thrive on alone time.
Okay.
So, like, I need to, like, and I could be alone with you sometimes, you know, where you don't talk to me and I don't talk to you, but I need you to respect my space.
It sounds to me like you're never going to be at a point to where you are sprung on some cat, though.
I mean, I love, and I think I love hard, but at the same time, I respect boundaries, and I don't know, I need my own space sometimes.
Okay. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. Before we officially begin, I want to get your thoughts on tonight's topic, too. What type of man do you go for, and is a soft man a turnoff for you?
So, I think that, okay, let's break this down. Like, what is a soft man?
I want your definition.
So, for me, I think a soft man, and I'm not thinking like, oh, he's a simp. That's the word of the year.
That's
a
a good
simp.
word right there.
I don't think that that's, like, being a soft man and being a simp are totally different things. Like, being a guy who lets a girl treat you any kind of way and you still give her your check, like, that's a simp. But a guy that's soft, like,
I'd say, yeah.
So let me just say, if you're not being soft with your lady, who are you being soft with?
But what does that mean to be soft with your lady?
You confide in her. You can talk to her. You know, like, men often keep so many things bottled up, and I think that your woman should be a safe space for you. I think that you should be a safe space for your man, and I believe that it's okay to show affection. It's okay to want to cuddle and, you know, want to buy her flowers. Like, doing little things. I'm big on acts of service. So,
Okay.
you know, I love coffee. Like, bring me a latte.
That's an act of service for you.
Yes, that's an act of service to me. Like, you just brought me a latte because you know I was running late for work this morning, and you're like, let me bring you. Like, that little thing can change, like, my whole day just because you brought me a $6 latte.
So you don't care about big gifts at all.
No,
you don't need that coach
it's the
back.
little things. It's like if I'm hosting a paint party and you're helping me put together those art kits, that's That's love.
That's cool.
Being there in the little moments for me mean a lot more to me than you just like showing off like big gestures every once in a blue moon. Just be consistent with little things.
So why are these soft men, we got 60 seconds here, why are these soft men getting hell on social media right now? Just because a man might cook, just because a man might have some roses.
Oh, that's considered soft because that's like a life skill. You need to be able to cook. I don't always want to cook. I don't always want to cook. When I come home, I want to smell chicken frying sometimes too.
Yeah, but like Q was talking about those traditional principles. We've gotten away from that. You know, some black men say, I want a woman that knows how to get down in the kitchen.
And I do, but let's take turns. Okay. I'm going to rub your feet, but come on, rub mine too.
What if you got corns, like nasty corns? We're going
to get rid of those. I'm going to take you to get a pedicure. And then.
That's a hygiene like you were talking
about.
But
honestly, like, I mean, when relationship Nira will literally give you a pedicure in the living room.
See, that's literally.
I will have the bucket of water and give you a pedicure because I enjoy it and I'll just talk to you.
That's
like
fire.
Literally.
1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, and my toes gonna look fabulous when we get back. We're gonna get into some stories that have been bubbling within the black zeitgeist over the last few days. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Black Enterprise dishes on 5 steps to communicate like a boss. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Communicating effectively is necessary for a productive work environment. Here are 5 steps to communicate like a boss from Black Enterprise. Step number 1, active listening. This requires leaders to pay close attention to what their team members say, ask relevant questions, and provide feedback while demonstrating understanding. Number 2, clarify expectations, providing clear and concise instructions. Number 3, give and accept feedback. This should be respectful and supportive, not accusatory or confrontational. 4, communicate goals clearly. When everyone's on the same page about what they're working towards, it helps create a sense of unity and shared purpose. 5, practice and be flexible. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
All I need is one mic.
For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley with a KBLA editorial. I've said it all along. Presumption of innocence, fundamental fairness, due process. Convicted now on 7 counts in his federal bribery case, LA City Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas scarcely got 1, and his chances of getting the other 2 were slim to none, and Slim was out of town. Did you hear the jury forewoman's comments? The jurors were confused by the jury instructions, confused by the answers to the almost 12 questions they sent to the judge. She acknowledged that some jurors were not even paying attention, and she said the jury knew that the $100,000 contribution from MRT was legal, but the way the jury instructions were written made them feel like they had to find MRT guilty of wire fraud. Again, those are her words. So let me offer you just 3 questions that I want you to ponder. 1, why do you think the U.S. government spent millions of dollars of your money going after an alleged $100,000 bribe? 2, USC is in the news almost daily, it seems, for yet another violation of some law or the contestation of somebody else's humanity. But unlike all the other cases, they didn't get caught by some LA Times investigation. No, USC walked this particular case involving a powerful black leader into the U.S. Attorney's Office. Who made that decision, and how and why was it made? 3, while all the focus is on the indictment of Donald Trump, are you paying attention to all the other high-profile black elected officials that are being targeted across the nation by the Justice Department? Joe Biden's Justice Department. I'll let you marinate on that for a second. The judge in one case involving a high-profile black elected threw the charges out and told the government to kick rocks. It doesn't matter who's in charge. The hunting season for black folk is always open. I do not purport to know what's next for MRT. What I do know is that his legacy of love and service to our community is intact. What I do know is that God can turn your shipwreck into a submarine. As for all the rest of us, be vigilant, be sober, be circumspect. Just because you don't believe in conspiracy theories don't mean they ain't after you. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We, of course, welcome your comments.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
I am minutes away from kicking Nira out of the studio because she just had the nerve to say two things that are really blowing me out of the water.
Sorry.
One, she said J. Cole is way better than Kendrick Lamar. And two, she did not like To Pimp a Butterfly. You got to go!
I didn't hate it.
Andy, can you believe this nonsense?
I didn't hate it.
You can't say it's not
Am
good.
I allowed to say D-A-M-N? That was my favorite album of Kendrick.
Yeah, you can say that.
That was my favorite album of his. I love that album, to be honest. But
you cannot make the case. You better not say that right now. That J. Cole is better.
I think she may have an East Coast bias, maybe.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay. You know what?
Baltimore.
I can take that. But yeah, just for me, I just love J. Cole. Like for me, and I think that it's subjective. Like it's music, y'all. It's subjective. But yeah, like Kendrick, some of his music, I just don't really vibe with like that. I'm just like, all right, it's cool, but I don't even know what you're talking about, bro.
You know he's the number 2 rapper of all time.
And I'm so sorry that they pumped him up like that. Because no, absolutely not.
Danny,
no.
Yo.
You can make the case, though.
Make the case what?
That J. Cole's better than Kendrick.
Based on what?
I'm just saying, you can make the case. J. Cole and Kendrick, they're like
you mean
neck and neck.
Pulitzer Prize winning Kendrick Lamar. That one? Oh, I'm sorry. That one?
I'm sorry. I like J. Cole's flow better. I like the stories that he tells.
Kendrick ain't telling no stories, huh?
Yeah, like I honestly, Kendrick, sometimes I get lost in Kendrick's music. But don't get me wrong, I like that album was fire. Like I love that album from start to finish.
Okay.
But To Pimp a Butterfly just gave me go-go. Surprisingly, I was talking about East Coast vibes because it really gave me DC go-go vibes.
There you
and
go.
I don't like go-go music. So
swinging tonight.
It's not like I'm not really into the pots and pansy kind of sound, but I love jazz, but it just wasn't giving me that jazz vibe that I think he was going for. Like it didn't do it for me.
I'll give you the same question that I gave Andy a long time ago. Does J. Cole have a classic album? Thank you. The answer is hell no. He's got some great albums. Amazing catalog. He ain't got no. Some people say Forest Drive. Classic album?
It was really dope.
Come on now.
It was really dope.
Thank you very much.
It was really dope.
All right, this is how we get down. I got a number of topics that have been bubbling within the Black Zeitgeist, as we like to say, over the past few weeks. I'll play a clip in reference to each of these topics I've chosen. I will share my thoughts immediately thereafter, and we will exchange dialogue accordingly, okay?
Okay.
Our first story is from a brilliant young queen who's on the rise these days, who went on a rant on social media about how a number of celebrities are taking their fans and followers for granted. I want to know what you think about what she said. Listen.
It's time for a change. This is not really who I am. And something just came over me, like the Holy Spirit came over me, and I was like, you know what? I need to figure out what's my purpose in life. Like, why am I here? Like, and the way that I was living, I was like, you know what? I don't like the way that I'm living. So I had to make a change so I could start walking into my own truth. And I feel like for me, that's very important.
OnlyFans has become so normalized, and of course you were a big star on there. So what would you say to other young women who are, as you described,
that's the wrong clip right there. Go on in. Is that the one I sent you? Is it? We will reboot that in a second. I got a clip that I need you to hear. It's very, very important. It really is. Which clips do you have? That one? You got the next one instead? Okay, let's go Black China instead. How about that? You got that ready? All right, let's go. This is about Angela White, also known as Black China. I'm sure you've heard Black China made a major lifestyle change by deleting her OnlyFans account, taking the fillers out of her face, and finding some God in her life. And to add a little context to the conversation, here she is on Fox News, parading around like from these artificial Christians, which really got me upset. Listen.
It's time for a change. This is not really who I am. And something just came over me, like the Holy Spirit came over me, and I was like, you know what? I need to figure out what's my purpose in life. Like, why am I here? Like, and the way that I was living, I was like, you know what? I don't like the way that I'm living. So I had to make a change so I could start walking into my own truth. And I feel like for me, that's very important.
OnlyFans has become so normalized, and of course you were a big star on there. So what would you say to other young women who are, as you described, debasing themselves, degrading themselves on that platform sexually?
For me, I would honestly say if it's something that you're going through and you really just have to make the money, do it, but also to get out of it. Because to me, it's going to be a dead end. Anytime something is like fast money, it never ends well. And
so tell me, because I was kind of taken aback by the fact, well, she's saying do it. And once you capture the bag, go ahead and push yourself away. Why not say get out of it right now?
Yeah, like, China, you just feel like you made enough money that you could stop now.
Because she made millions of dollars.
She made so much money, I thought about making an OnlyFans.
Come on now.
I was like, wait, can I sell my feet? Because I got cute toes.
There are some men with feet fetish.
I know. You know, I'm glad she got rid of the fillers.
Yeah.
She looks a lot better. Let's just start there.
For the record, she's always been beautiful.
Not with the fillers.
You don't think so?
I felt like she looked really fake and plasticky with the fillers, but without them, it's like now you're showing like you were actually a beautiful woman. You just you put something in yourself that you didn't need. I'm for that. I am for like all celebrity women who are like, you know what? I don't need this fake butt anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it because I've got older and gained weight, and now I got a butt anyway. I'm just for women doing whatever makes them happy and realizing like you don't need to do this for someone else. Now, if you wanted those fillers for you, that's fine, but I love when women say, you know what, they ask themselves, who am I doing this for?
Right.
And when they realize that answer is not for themselves, then they make that change. I'm for that.
Well, here's something that women need to understand, is that we men don't care.
I know, y'all don't. Y'all really,
we don't care
it's
about
so
your fillers in
annoying
your
how much
face.
y'all don't care about stuff that we think we care about. Like, babe, aren't my knees messed up? And you're like, what? What do you mean your knees are messed up? We women will find the smallest thing to talk about.
Facts.
I don't like my elbows. And the man be like, your elbows?
We don't care.
Y'all don't care.
You guys will walk in the club with some red bottoms on, right? Thinking that I'm going to be looking good up in there, you know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all not doing it for us because we ain't looking at your shoes anyway. We couldn't care less.
I mean, some men do look at your shoes.
Yeah, very few.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you have a bomb body, he ain't looking at your shoes.
I mean, I am petite, so, you know, maybe a guy is looking at my shoes. I'm not blessed with, you know.
Come on. You're a beautiful young lady. Stop it.
I appreciate it.
But I'm telling you, guys don't care. And I've heard women say, I ain't going out of this house because my nails are not done. My toes need to be done. And men don't
And we
care.
really do appreciate that. We really do. I really appreciate that, but I still like to look good for myself.
What is it about a woman? A woman can not be taking care of herself physically, but them nails got to be tight.
Listen, I don't, like, when COVID happened, they shut down the nail shops. Boy, I was like, Tyrone Biggums.
You can't do your nails yourself? I mean, come on now.
I tried. It's not easy.
They don't make those press-on nails anymore,
I mean, they do, like, but listen, I'm all for press-on nails now because I just like it costs so much money to get your nails done for them to like break. So I got a whole other relationship and issue with getting my nails done.
Yeah.
But I've been getting my nails done literally since the 7th grade.
Wow.
So
12?
My mother made me go. I was her oldest daughter, and she like formed me into like this little mini version of herself. Like it was like our girl thing that we did every 2 weeks. Like it was a mother-daughter thing. And so when you do something like religiously like that, when you don't have it, it becomes like this thing where you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I'm ugly.
So when your nails aren't done, you feel ugly?
I have felt like that before. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we got a bunch of clips to get to. We will reboot it, and I got to play you this one on the other side. Nira Muhammad. I'm going to say your name right. Muhammad.
Like my mama.
My God, you talking about your mama, you know what I'm saying? Inside My Post 101, Danny Morrison Show. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A vote to expel Tennessee lawmaker Gloria Johnson over protesting for stricter gun laws has failed. It failed to get the support from 2/3 of Tennessee's Republican-controlled House of Representatives. Fellow Democratic Representative Justin Jones was removed Thursday for demonstrating on the floor following last month's school shooting in Nashville.
I can't feel good, too good, because my colleague, Justin